diagnostic at daycare, so I'm sorry, but hopefully his son will feel much better soon. I'm here from Mike's office. Mike is the Chief Analytics Officer of New York City. The Analytics Office is in charge of quarterbacking data and analysis projects throughout the city and the city's agencies. Recently chartered, but building upon years of work within the Bloomberg administration to centralize data and make data publicly accessible. I'll be quick, but let me throw out a couple of questions to the audience. Does anyone have a guess of how many buildings there are in New York City? 575,000. Okay. Anyone, raise your hand if you think it's more.
1 million.
Okay, this guy's right. It's right over a little over 1 million. Want to guess what the value of all of those, the tax assessed value of all those 1 million properties is? Raise your hand if you think it's more than 500 billion. Okay, so it's about double that. It's a little over $1 trillion. So it's a huge city with a huge number of buildings, high value. We have over 200,000 buildings which are multi-apartment dwellings. We had over 100,000 buildings affected by Hurricane Sandy. So it's a massive, the point I'm trying to bring is it's a massive set of data. And when we think of buildings, we think of them as the place where we work, or the place where we eat, or the place we go to school, the place where we sleep at night. But the way that the city of New York, and most cities for that matter, think about cities is very fragmented. So the Department of Environmental Protection thinks about the water line that's going into your building. The Department of Building thinks about construction changes. The Department of Transportation thinks about the sidewalk in the street. The Department of Housing and Preservation Development and NYCHA think about affordable housing, etc. And they all have their own independent databases. And you would think they're all being, within the same city government, that those databases more or less talk to each other. But anyone who's worked in a large company, I think, would, know that's not the case. And just like any large company has divisions which sometimes have challenges cooperating, so does the city of New York. And so the goal of the Department of Analytics is to make that cooperation seamless and bring all of our data together. If you're going to buy a piece of property or rent an apartment, all those things I mentioned, you would want centrally available. You wouldn't want to have to go to 12 different websites to find them. And so the city enacted Public Law, Local Law 11 in 2012, and that will slowly migrate, or rapidly migrate, hopefully rapidly migrate all of the city's publicly available data for use. And what do we mean by that? Well, there are a couple of discrete examples I'll point to, but if you've ever been to the NYC Open Data website, you'll see the data that's currently published, which is a lot of 311 complaints, buildings information. And there have already been some kind of innovative, cute applications of that data. There is an application that was done by NPR, which is NYC Dogs. You can see if your dog name is popular. You can see where all of the dachshunds live. There is another application, the Rat Tracker, so you can look and see when the last rat sightings were in your neighborhood. And so these are some of the cuter applications, but the point is that all of this data is making technology applications possible, and we're going to rapidly increase the amount of data that is on the site and the frequency with which it is refreshed.